Greetings and salutations, BraveHearts and CoachMaddHatters, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am your host, Thea Marie Wiggins Clark, also known as the Coach Mad Hatter, also known as Skyla Indigo Inc., and also known as the Golden Wildling. There's a lot of things that will be discussed on this channel, and mostly it will serve as the docking station for the content and context of the Coach Mad Hatters Underland University and Radio. We truly invest in the teachings and the personal knowledge of being yourself and the endorsements and I'll say the coaching efforts of self as one gets to know thyself. It's not an easy task. And so usually those that will stop by or those that will enlist in scholarship are considered the wounded healers, the artisans, the musicians, the crafters, the poetic justices, all wrapped up in one, considered a Braveheart or a Coach Mad Hatter. We focus quite a bit on storytelling, really in the arts and courage of telling one story, putting the power back in the pen and taking back the narrative, actually. And in the process of doing that, inner healing takes place. The experiences that I like to call either walking the black mile or walking the golden mile. It really all depends on where you are in your journey of getting to know thyself. When you walk in the black mile, it is more like being down in the valley. When you are visiting with the dark night of the soul. Walking the golden mile is when you have pretty much completed the journey in the valley and you are now resurfacing as a new being, the phoenix rising effect. And you have a story to tell that may help others that will be embarking upon their black mile, serving as the wounded healer, putting power to your story, bringing highlights to your invisible muses, and serving as the oracle of those who have yet to get in alignment with their star player or players. Usually those that will be part of CMHU are those that believe in sacred intellectual properties, those whom become emotionally invested and serve as oracles of wisdom, of lifelong learning. We are upon a time where plenty of us will be experiencing very unique challenges, and you will be invited to invest in your courtships with self. And some, many, plenty, are even being called to the courage of telling their story, chronicling what it is that they are or have gone through on a daily basis, and how they have magically turned their chaos into the tools and the techniques to maneuver through this day and age. What used to work is no longer working. What used to be acceptable is no longer acceptable, no longer accessible, actually. We cannot get by with just superficial content anymore. Authenticity is taking the driver's seat. And in order to show up in your most authentic version, you must dig deep and find the parts of yourself that emotionally make sense. And so that's what we're here for. Because when Alice tumbled down the rabbit hole, the first group of folks that she came across was the Mad Hatter at the Tea Party. And as wacky as an event that was, she actually gathered the information she needed to decide which direction she should go in. And the Mad Hatter even supplied her with a few goodies for the trip. We can no longer hide from the relationship with self. We can no longer dismiss it, neglect it. We can no longer do it. And I really truly feel from the bottom of my heart to the top of my crown chakra that there's a very special groove of self-academics and self-assessment that will lend us the intellectual ingredients to get where we truly desire to be, and to be able to align with the relationships that affirm instead of deny. With that said, it gives grounding understanding to why many of the videos, yeah, the audios, because that's what they are essentially, why they are blacked out. Because essentially, it's not about what I look like or what I'm doing or what I'm wearing or how my hair is situated. And quite honestly, yeah, that's not what's important. What's important is the messages that I have to deliver. What's important is the messages that you are to receive. And I truly believe in audio learning. So that's what you'll see mostly, because it really is time to pay attention to the content so that it can be transmuted into your context. So many will quickly say, you got to do the work. You got to work on you. But what does that mean exactly? Because as long as we stay in this distraction infested realm, we are never going to turn our time and attention into discovering and nurturing the relationship with self. And that's what's at the forefront right now. That's what's important. And so that is the reason why the Coach Mad Hatters Underland University and Radio is being birthed in the first place. Because there is sacred intellectual properties that are awaiting our time and attention that will push us into the new dynamics that have now mm, begun to reveal themselves to us. We cannot ignore their presence, its presence. We can't ignore this new leveling up of consciousness that will that has promised to make this a historical era. And there will be so many things discussed on this channel. So I promise you, if you come with your judgments, there will be no place. There will be no place for you to dwell. There will be no place for you to dwell. There will be nothing conventional here, nothing traditional here. And just to bring balance to what it is that I'm saying, I am a Capricorn sun. And so I have had to challenge everything, everything that I thought I knew. And the hardest thing that I've had to do was unlearn what I learned and actually face the inner child in me and nurture it so that it may mature in a more flexible fashion. I had to get out of swift judgments and shunning what I didn't understand. I had to patiently, slowly take time with myself to allow things to unfold and present itself to me in a new light. And that's what the Coach Mad Hatters are here for. Because it's maddening with all the hats that have to be worn in this very fast paced way of life these days. And so to gather with folks that are diving deep into openly speaking about what it means to do the work and to be in relationship with self, just to have a safe space to express and create, and being able to express oneself freely and gathering up the courage to tell one's story is incredible. And so I leave you with these few references to put you in the heart and the mind space of what it is that we are missioned to present on this channel. So the book, the film is also good too, but the book by Cheryl Strayed called Wild. And so in the film, Reese Witherspoon played her character when she walked, and I can't remember exactly what it's called right now, but the massive trail um, where she spent 89 days in the wilderness. And it was just a phenomenal story. And it really truly was all about her reconnecting with herself, her new self, and how that time alone gave her the space to get in tuned with herself, to re-enter into a proactive courtship with herself. The next reference is the contemplation of writing a love letter to either your past, present, and or future self. And I'm still quite amazed at how we hesitate to do this. But if we fall in love with someone outside of ourselves, we'll write love letters to them, professing our love all day long. And I truly think that we've entered into the energy where it's now asking us to do that for self. And so I'll close out with a poem that was included in my great Uncle Gil's memoirs. And the poem is called If. If you could see your ancestors all standing in a row, would you be proud of them, or don't you really know? Some strange discoveries are made climbing family trees, and some of them do not particularly please. If you could see your ancestors all standing in a row, there might be some of them you wouldn't want to know. But there is another question that requires a different view. If you could meet your ancestors, would they be proud of you? It's time for us to get to know ourselves. It's time for us to begin pulling back from the things that don't matter, from the things that frustrate, from the things that perplex us, and redirecting that time and attention upon those things that truly matter. And that's what you will find being discussed on this channel. I welcome you to gather all that resonate with you, jot it down in a journal, explore it, investigate it, unpack it. See what it has to say to you. Because the more and more you get into relationship with yourself, if you haven't already, you will find this very incredible notion that the divine will speak to you in signs and in symbols and in song and in art, in poems, in a random conversation with something that seems so indirect. It will hit it right on the bullseye. It will reveal the answers that you've been looking for. May not come immediately as you are engaging it, but every single time that you hold a conversation with yourself, you are holding a conversation with the divine. Whether it's silently or spoken aloud, it is noted. So, with that said, I welcome you. I am very glad that you're here, whether you came by a personal invitation from me or you just happened to bump into it, or an invitation from someone, from someone, from someone. We do take great honor in our grapevine gratitudes, and we work to strengthen our grapevines, especially when it's traveling academic curriculum that deals with getting to know thyself and having the courage to tell one's story. So, once again, I thank you, and I hope that you find it resonatingly useful.